Hey, what's going on, guys? Mcskillet here with another CSGO video, and today I'm going to be doing a video on the most hyped loadout for CSGO. And if you don't know what I mean by that, basically some of you guys would probably also refer to this video as the overrated loadout, but I don't think all the skins in this video are necessarily overrated. But basically, these are a bunch of kind of expensive skins that are expensive mainly due to the fact that there's a lot of hype surrounding them. Like, a lot of people know what these skins are, and for a lot of these skins, if someone has them, lots of people may freak out in game, or basically people just know that these skins are a big deal. But starting off, we've got the AK-47 Fire Serpent, and the reason I think this skin is super hyped is because the Stat Track Factor New version, which is basically the best version possible, sells for usually at least $2,000 more than a Stat Track AK-47 Wasteland Rebel Factory New. And the thing is, there's actually more Stat Track Factor New Fire Serpents than Stat Track Factor New Wasteland Rebels, so the demand is just super high on the Stat Track Factor New Fire Serpent. So basically, this skin, even though it's a lot more common than a lot of the other rare AKs, it sells for way more, and I guess it's just the kind of hype surrounding a AK-47 Fire Serpent. It's just a really expensive skin, even though it's actually not that rare compared to a lot of the other AK skins, so that's why I think it's a very well hyped skin. Now for the AUG, we've got the AUG Akihabara Sept, and unlike the Fire Serpent, this is the rarest AUG skin, and I just picked this one because there really isn't any other AUG skins that are nearly as expensive and valuable as this one. So this one will always draw the most attention in game, and is probably the most hyped AUG skin, even though there's a lot of people that hate this skin as well, because it's like an anime skin. In the game files, it's actually called the Anime AUG. I thought that was a little funny. But next up, we have just about the most hyped skin of all time in CSGO, the AWP Dragon Lore. It's just kind of an iconic, expensive skin. And it used to be a really rare skin at one point, so that's probably why it got so like hyped up. But I mean, to be honest, an AWP Dragon Lore isn't even that rare anymore. This is because hundreds, maybe I think even thousands of these were probably duplicated at this point. So this skin, I mean, it's actually not that rare. It still costs like $1,000 though, just because the demand for these is so high. But I think there's plenty of other AWP skins that are much more rare than the AWP Dragon Lore that you can get for cheaper. It's just so much hype surrounding this skin. I don't think it's too bad of a skin. I actually kind of like the AWP Dragon Lore. I know some people do not like it though, but I think the AWP Dragon Lore is a pretty nice AWP, but I do think it's a little bit overrated, to be fully honest. Now for the Famas, it was kind of hard to pick because there isn't any covert Famas's or any like flashy, colorful pink Famas's, but I'd probably say the Famas Valence is like the most hyped one at the moment because it's just a really flashy skin, and I do think it is well deserved though. It's probably my favorite Famas skin. There isn't any like super hyped up Famas skin, but if I had to go with one, probably the Famas Valence. So for the G3SG1, I'm going to go with the Executioner, and pretty much all the skins in this video are pink or covert skins. Those skins tend to get the most hype, but basically just the skins that are in the best rarity color and for their weapons. So for the G3SG1, the highest weapon color is only pink at the moment, and the Executioner is a pink and probably the most unique one out of all of them. And like, it's a very colorful skin, it's got a lot going on. It even has a secret message that says NACL get some here on it, which is kind of cool. Now this next skin actually happens to be made by the same person that made the G3SG1 skin that I just showed, but this is the Gall AR Chatterbox, and of course I'm going to go with this skin because it is a covert skin, and it's the only covert skin for the Gall. So I guess if you think of kind of a high tier Gall skin, probably think of this one right here. And I noticed a lot of the like high tier collector, more expensive inventories usually have like a stat track field tested version of this skin. So I definitely say that the M401S Knight is probably the most hyped skin for the M401S, maybe even a souvenir version, but the M401S Knight is basically only expensive because it trades up to the AWP Dragon Lore, and pretty much all the skins that are kind of high tier in the Cobblestone collection got a decent amount of hype surrounding them just because people know they trade up to the AWP Dragon Lore. And this skin does look pretty nice when it's in the sun, but if it's not in the sun, it does look kind of dull and brown. So I don't think the skin would be nearly as expensive and valuable and kind of like as hyped if it wasn't in the Cobblestone collection with the AWP Dragon Lore, because it is a little bit bland. So for the M4A4, of course, we have the M4A4 Howl, another iconic expensive skin, and definitely a ton of hype surrounding this skin, especially since it was contraband. Ever since I got the contraband rarity, it just spiked up in price so much because it's the only contraband skin in the game. It's actually not really even that rare though, because again, just like the Dragon Lore, tons of these were duplicated, and it's not even nearly as rare as some of the other M4A4 skins, just because this one's been duplicated in such heavy masses. So for the Scar 20, I decided to go with the Scar 20 Cyrex, because the Scar 20 Cyrex is a pink skin, and there isn't any red skins for the Scar 20 at the moment. And the Cyrex for the M4A1S is a covert skin, or a red skin, so I thought this one would probably be the best one to pick. It also got an update to the scope recently, so that probably added a little bit of hype to it as well. Looks kind of cool, but next up we have the SG553 Bulldozer, and I definitely say this is the most hyped one, because whenever I'm in game with this skin, it's so bright, and it really stands out because of how bright that yellow is. Lots of people talk about it, so probably the most hyped skin for the SG553, and the factory new one is one of the most expensive SG skins in the game. Now for the SSG, I'm going to go with the Blood in the Water, because it's definitely the most expensive one, and it's the only covert SSG or scout skin in the game, and it's a lot more valuable and a lot higher demanding than pretty much all the other scout skins. Now for the CZ, it was really hard to pick because I don't really see people using the CZ too often. It seems like more people in matchmaking, or at least based on my experience, use like the Tech 9 and the 5.7, but I guess if I had to go with one, probably the CZ Yellow Jacket, because it's kind of like the most vibrant, and it is a pink CZ skin, and the only covert skin is the Victoria, which is a really bland skin, and those skins generally don't tend to get hyped too much. Now for the Desert Eagle, I'm going to go with the Kamucho Dragon. I was thinking of going with the Golden Koi, but the Golden Koi is just kind of a meme at this point for people that fail the Fire Serpent trade up, and that skin's also really cheap. It's like one of the cheapest red skins, only $10 for a red skin in the Bravo collection, so definitely not the Golden Koi. It's not a very well hyped skin, but the Kamucho Dragon is actually like the most expensive deagle in general right now, and a lot of people really like this skin. I don't really see why. I mean, I guess the handle part looks kind of cool, but otherwise it's kind of a bland skin if you're just holding it in your hand. But I guess it isn't that bad looking. And next up, we've got the dual Berettas Duelist, and these are definitely the most expensive to just get in any condition. Of course, there's some other ones where to get in like souvenir factory new, that's kind of expensive, but these ones are $18 for a factory new one, and even the cheapest one in the cheapest condition is still $8, and this can also trade up to the M4A1S Hot Rod, so decent amount of hype surrounding this skin, and it'd be very lucky to get this in a drop, because normally you don't get stuff this good in your weekly drop. But for the 5.7, I had to go with a case hardened blue gem, because there really isn't any other 5.7s that will get nearly as much attention as a blue gem, and the one I have here is Stat Track, and there's not supposed to be any Stat Track skins in this video, but the only 5.7 blue gem I have is Stat Track, so didn't want to try to like buy a whole nother one for the video, because that would be kind of expensive to get like a #1 pattern like this. But next up, we've got the P2000 Fire Elemental, and this is the only covert P2000 skin, and of course people are obsessed with any skin that's covert, so probably has a little bit more hype than all the other P2000s. It's not that expensive though. I think the Ocean Foam is probably a little bit more expensive in certain conditions. But next up we got the P250 Franklin, and I wasn't really sure what to go with the P250. I was thinking maybe the Nuclear Threat, but I feel like this is kind of the ultimate hype skin. I don't really know. Maybe because it's made out of $100 bills, so I guess if you're trying to show off how rich you are, you can always get this skin because it's got $100 bills all over it. But for the R8, we're gonna have to go with the R8 Fade, because all the Fade skins are super highly hyped up, and that makes them very expensive. They've all got really high demands on them. Actually the Mac 10 and the R8 aren't that expensive, but they are a lot more expensive compared to the other skins for the R8 and the Mac 10 that are in similar rarities. Now for the Tech 9, I'm going to go with the Tech 9 Avalanche, and this skin is pretty nice looking, and I've heard a lot of positive talk about it, and just seems like a lot of people are really obsessed with this new Tech 9. It's actually not that new. It's in the Revolver case, I believe, but it's still got a decent price on it, just because that's kind of a nice skin. Very high demand on this one, so gonna have to go with the Tech 9 Avalanche. Now for the USP-S, I'm gonna go with the Kill Confirmed, and this is a pretty nice skin. Unfortunately, I don't think it looks too great when you're just holding it. It does look really cool when you inspect it, but it looks a little weird when you're just holding it and like shooting people. But USP-S Kill Confirmed, one of the flashiest USP-S's in the game, and it's a covert skin, so it's got the ultimate combination to become a super hyped up skin, so I'm gonna have to go with this one as the most hyped USP-S. Now for the Mac 10, this is the only Mac 10 that's a covert skin, and it's probably the flashiest one, but this is a really nice skin, and I would say it's the most hyped one. It is pretty cheap, but that's just because people don't really spend too much on Mac 10 skins. But Neon Rider, probably the most hyped skin for the MAC-10. And now for the MP7, it was a little bit hard to decide, but pretty much like a minimal wear or a factory new MP7 Whiteout does get a good amount of attention. These are kind of expensive just because they're rare, but they are kind of bright looking just because it's completely white, and probably would draw a good amount of attention, and people do pay a very high amount for like a factory new or a decent float minimal wear whiteout. And now for the MP9, we've got the MP9 Bulldozer, and there isn't really any like super hyped up MP9 skin, I would say, but if I had to go with one, it would definitely be the Bulldozer, which is also really rare, and a lot of people know that these two skins are rare now for the Whiteout and the Bulldozer, so that does make them kind of like a little bit hyped up. But now for the PP-Bizon, I really had no idea for this skin. There isn't any like PP-Bizon skins that are like super expensive compared to the other ones, besides some like random stat track factory new or souvenir factory new ones. But this one, I'd say the Fuel Rod is probably like the most hyped up one just to get in any condition, because that's what the video is about. Not any like condition specific stuff, but for the P90, gonna go with the Death by Kitty because it's a covert P90 skin and there isn't too many other covert P90 skins. And this one is super flashy and colorful as well, and all colorful and flashy skins. Generally, people pay a lot for those. I do like some colorful and flashy skins. I know some of you guys really don't like skins like this. I know some people like the Death by Kitty, but I know there's a group in my comments that do not like skins like the Death by Kitty. But next up, we've got the UMP-45 Blaze, and the Blaze skins are kind of hyped up. I mean, I kind of just went with this one because there really isn't any like super expensive hyped up other UMP skin, but I definitely go with the UMP Blaze because it's kind of expensive even though it's not that rare, so you can just see there's a very high demand for this. And now for the Mag-7, I really had no idea as well, but I just went with the Bulldozer because Bulldozer skins are kind of hyped up, and this is a it's a purple skin and there isn't any pink skins for the Mag-7 yet, so this one probably the most hyped at the moment. Maybe there'll be a pink or a covert Mag-7 skin someday. And now for the Nova, we've got the Nova Hyper Beast. This skin has got hype in the name of it, but for the Nova, definitely the Hyper Beast because it's the most expensive one just to get in any condition. And very decent demand on this. It is in the newest case, and it's super flashy and a pink skin. There's no covert Nova skin yet, so definitely this one for the Nova. And now for the sawed off, I'm going to go with the Kraken because this one is also the only covert sawed off. That's right, they actually made a covert skin for the sawed off a while ago, which is the Kraken right here. Not really sure why, because it's kind of a waste. I don't really think this skin's nearly as expensive as the M4A4 Asimov, which is the other covert in that case, because people don't really pay too much for skins on weapons that they don't use too often. Now for the XM, I'm going to go with the Tranquility, and seems like for a lot of these skins, it's getting a little bit easier to find which one is the most hyped, because the Tranquility is the only pink skin for the XM, so a lot of the uncommon weapons, usually the most hyped one, if there is a hyped one at all, is just the one that's the best rarity color. And for the the XM, the best rarity color is this pink one, which is the Tranquility. So the M249 actually has a purple skin on it, which is really interesting and is one of the most interesting skins in the game, I would say, even though it's for the M249, which pretty much no one ever uses. But this skin, it's got so much detail on it, and it's super colorful and super unique. And it's also the best rarity color for the M249. So I've had to go with the hyped up M249 skin. Definitely this one. And now for the Negev, gotta go with the Power Loader, because probably the most expensive one to get in general. It's kind of a newer skin. It is pretty nice and a pretty bright skin. Might get a little bit of attention in game, not entirely sure, but super bright skin right here. And it is a purple skin for the Negev at the moment. And now for the knives, the most hyped knives are definitely Karambits, because you can just tell if you look at one type of pattern and you look at all the other knives, it's always going to be the most expensive on the Karambit. So that just shows you that the Karambits have the highest demand and are therefore the most hyped up. And so pretty much all the Karambits are more expensive than all the other knives. But for the patterns, I would definitely go with the Fade one, because again, Fade stuff always really hyped up and super high demanding for Karambit Fades. They're still like $500 plus, even though they've been out for quite a while now. Actually, it does look like you can get one for just over $400, but those probably have kind of shitty floats and fade patterns. But now for the other knife, I guess I would do two knives, because I guess you can have one knife for each side, so might as well do two knives for the loadout. But the Karambit Sapphire, this knife has been duplicated a ton as well, and it basically hasn't even dropped in value that much, which is kind of surprising. All of these Sapphire knives have super high demand on them, and they're more expensive than the black pearls, which are 10 times rarer. For the stat track ones, the black pearls are more expensive just because it's a matter of like one in the world skins at that point. But if you're just talking about normal Karambit Dopplers, the Sapphire is definitely the most highest demanding and the most hyped up one, just because you can tell it's so much more expensive than all of the other finishes that are in the Chroma collections. So definitely the Karambit Sapphire and the Karambit Fade, probably the two highest hyped up knives. So I hope you guys got the like idea for this loadout. It's kind of like a little bit more confusing, I guess, a little bit less straightforward than my other videos, but I'm sure you can see what the like pattern is with all these skins. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if there's any other loadouts you guys want to see, but I'm Mcskillet and I'm out.